And I'm recording. Okay, so welcome seniors, welcome to a question and answer session. I just wrapped up over an hour with our freshmen and gave them a very basic guide to freshman year in this COVID world. So not like the freshman orientation that you all had. Tonight, I'm here to help you with getting through the first day on Wednesday and through the first day in the building on Thursday. And I think that once we get back into school, you'll kind of see how things are going to move and how the school year is going to flow. But I want to just start by saying that the school that you're coming back to does not look like the school you left. And many of the things that you're used to doing as a student at Old Rochester will either have changed or not be allowed. And while that saddens me a great deal because I think we have the best high school in America, I think we as a high school are making the best of this situation, and I'm optimistic and I'm excited to have you all back in the building. I still think we have the best high school in America, and just some things have changed, all in an effort to keep us all safe. So I actually think it's going to be easier to be a freshman than it is going to be a senior this year, because the freshmen don't know what it was like. And you seniors have had 3 years of experience and have school a certain way, and things have changed a lot. So my hope for tonight is to try to help you through those changes, answer as many questions as you have, and really want to make sure that you're in a good place for Wednesday, which is a full hybrid out day in our schedule, if you're in the hybrid schedule. And then Thursday is a hybrid in day for cohort A, and a hybrid out day for cohort B. So there's a lot. So we want to make sure we give you as much time as you need. So you can use the chat to ask questions. Please do so at any time, and we'll begin. So I thought a good way to start would be to just start with part of the presentation I gave the freshman class, because it talks about our schedule, and the schedule is very different. So I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to walk you through a little bit of their PowerPoint. You don't need it all, because you know a lot of how we do things at school. So I'm going to quickly sharing my screen. Again, you can enter questions into the chat. So from the start, this was the freshman orientation slide. The very first thing I encourage the freshmen to do, and I encourage you all to do, and I even called your parents today and had a voice recording that said, make sure you can get into Power School. So please, I'm telling you now, make sure you can get into Power School, and also make sure you're receiving school emails, okay? Check your school email address, because as I said, Wednesday is a full hybrid out day, meaning no one's coming to school that day, but classes are in session, and we're taking attendance, and it's real. And so you have to be able to access your classes on Wednesday through your Google Classroom. So those invites went out by teachers today, some more tomorrow, but you need to get into the Google Classroom so that you can have attendance accounted for on Wednesday, even though you're not coming in. We're taking attendance every day. So here, first slide was just make sure you can get into Power School. Piece of cake, get into Power School, do it. This is what you see when you get into Power School, okay? This is what the high school teachers call quick lookup. This is what you call, I think it's your grades and attendance. It has all the classes that you're signed up for. It has the teachers and all of that good stuff here. So if you log in here and you realize, hey, I wasn't invited yet into Mr. Cavallo's Google Classroom, you can email him. Just get right into it. Say, hey, Mr. Cavallo, I'm excited for the school year. I'm eager to come back, but I'm not in your Google Classroom yet. Can you invite me? Easy. So that's the first screen to go to. What I want to call your attention to is our expressions are different this year. The expressions, that's like when the class runs. It's different this year. It looks different than it ever has, okay? So this is the expression. So I basically took this right here and I blew it up here, and there are 3 expressions. Please ignore the parentheses. That means nothing. These 3 expressions mean something, and each of them means something different. So the first is the block. So block 1, okay? The second is the day. A is day 1. And then the third is the cohort. So this is day 1, block 1, cohort A. This is day 2, block 2, cohort A, okay? This student happens to be in all cohort A because of the alphabet. Cohort A, folks, is A through K in the alphabet. Cohort B is L through Z in the alphabet. So the expressions are different. So if this student's last name was began with a Z, the last part of the expression would be B because that's the cohort. So the B is consistent, okay? Everybody, hopefully that makes sense to you. So it's the block, then the day, then the cohort. Block 1 through 4, day A is 1, B is 2, and then the cohort is there. So just something to do when you get into your power school. Check it out. As I've said many times, schedules have changed a ton since June, and it's not your fault. We've had to make schedule changes to make sure everybody safely fits back in the building. So please reach out to a guidance counselor if there's a problem with your schedule. We will fix it, or we will do the best we can to safely fix it. Then once you're here, go to, excuse me, My Schedule. And now My Schedule will mirror what it looks like. This is new for students. This is the bell schedule. This is when class times are. So as I said, Wednesday is that full hybrid out. There is no homeroom, so you don't have to worry about that. But block 1 starts at 8 o'clock. All right, and these are actually old times. So when you go into your own power school, it will give you the correct times. All right, so these are the hybrid out classes. Then you go over to Thursday, okay? And Thursday, this is a class. Your class meets at 7:30, okay? And it ends at 8:45. So 7:30 to 8:45, okay? It says 8:30 here because at 8:30, your teacher is going to be checking in with the hybrid out class. So let's take Mrs. Kellum. Mrs. Kellum has a calculus class of 20. A through K in that 20 meets in person here. What's the rest of the cohort doing? They're in Miss Kellum's Google Classroom and they're doing classwork, and then they have to check in at 8:30 at this time. So that student schedule would say calculus right here for 8:30. Okay, that's when we take attendance. That's when you submit work. That is not optional. So this is very different than last spring where we were in a remote schedule and you could sleep all day and then log in later in the night and turn work in all hours. It's just not that way. For this school year to work, it has to look like school. So what looks like school is waking yourself up out of bed, getting yourself to school for 7:30, or getting yourself logged in to a Zoom at 8:30. Okay, has to look like school. It can't be on your time. It's got to be on school time. Okay, so that's the hybrid schedule. Then this student on Friday still has calculus in this block. This is still Thursday and Friday are both a day 2, still has calculus, but this is work done at home because this student's not coming in the building on Friday. Their cohort is cohort out. At 8:30, this student logs into calculus with Mrs. Kellum to take attendance, turn in work, and do all that good stuff. Okay, so we'll get a little bit more in detail there. What I would say you do is go to your power school, click on My Schedule, and hit next week. Hit this button right here, this next week button, because that will bring you to a full week so you can really get a sense of what a full week is going to look like. Okay, so I would recommend that you do that. So this Wednesday, and every future Monday is a hybrid out day for all students. That's when all classes will meet in half-hour sessions. So just this Wednesday and future Mondays. Why did we do that? We felt like it was important to have all classes meet on Wednesday so you could see all of your teachers to do all of what I'm calling like the onboarding experience, meaning can you log in? Did you get into your Zoom? Do you know the classroom expectations? Think of it really as another step-up day, okay? Another step-up day with COVID stuff, okay? So this Wednesday is hybrid out, and then every Monday moving forward is a hybrid out, okay? So what does the hybrid out schedule look like? So it says Monday, but it's Wednesday, this Wednesday, and all future Mondays. So you have your half-hour classes, okay? So only 2 out of the 3 expressions are showing here, okay? Because the third expression is the cohort. Cohorts don't matter on Mondays because both cohorts are meeting together. So that calculus class I talked about, both of the cohorts are meeting at the same time. It brings the group together. It brings the grade together. It brings everybody together with the classroom teacher. So first expression is the block. Second expression is the day. There is no third expression. So this is all of these classes are day 1 on your hybrid out full days. You have a midday break. And then all of these classes are your hybrid out day 2 in the afternoon, okay? So where do you find this? You find this right in here. It's going to be in your, it'll be there for Wednesday, and it'll be there for every Monday after that, okay? So these are the schedules, all right? So you should, when you're looking at your list, you should be in these Google Classrooms already. If you're not in them already, give it a little bit of time tomorrow, but email those teachers and say, hey, Dr. Everett, I never got your invite here. I got to get into your Google Classroom. Why is it so important? Because you're taking attendance Wednesday morning, and I got to be there, even if it's hybrid out. I have to be in that video conference on Wednesday. So you got to be in your Google Classrooms, everybody. All right. So that's why it's important that you've been checking your school email accounts. All right. So arrival to school. This is different this year. Life is different. So while this was a freshman slide, it applies to all of you. There are 4 ways to arrive to school. The first one is the bus. If you get off bus, first of all, we have to already know you're taking the bus. You can't just decide on one day, hey, I'm going to take the bus today. We have assigned seats on buses this year. We need to know who's going. All right. So you can't just on a whim, I'm going to take the bus. No, you're not. All right. So this was for the freshmen, but you enter under the CAF. You enter under the CAF if you get off the bus. The second is a student driver. So all of your seniors, you are allowed to drive. You are allowed to drive for free until October 1st. After October 1st, we will require a parking pass. We did get the fee reduced from $50 this year to $25. Celebrate. Okay. So it's a $25 fee to park. You don't need that parking pass. Don't even ask for them. They're not going to be ready until October 1st. But if you drive to school, you will enter the building behind the gym, which is what I'm calling it's like the preschool loop, if you know what that is. So this is the preschool loop right here. So you're parking out this way. You're going to enter through these doors, okay? You can't just enter any door you want. It's not going to work. We got to safely make sure kids can get on and off campus. Then there's the parent drop-off at the Marion entrance, okay? This is the Marion entrance with this big ugly thing, okay? This is the auditorium and gym entrance. So if your parents drop you off at the Marion entrance, you'll enter the gym and auditorium area. Then there's the Mattapoisett entrance. If you come in this way, your parents will drop you off by the flagpoles by the main office. So there's 4 entrance points when you get to school. Now, the magic time this year is 7:20. If you arrive to school before 7:20, you need to report immediately to the cafeteria to safely socially distance in the CAF. The CAF is set up with desks 7 feet away from each other. Take a seat in a desk. You'll be safe. If you arrive after 7:20, you're going to report to Block 1. There is no homeroom. You're going straight to your Block 1 classes, okay? So you really have 2 Block 1s. You've got a day 1 Block 1 and a day 2 Block 1. So those are the only 2 places you're going depending on the day. So 7:20 is the magic time. When you get out of the car, get off the bus, walk in the building, ask yourself, what time is it? If it is 7:15, you go to the CAF. If it's 7:20, you head to your Block 1 class, okay? After that, nothing's changed in terms of 7:30. That's the drop time. You're on time at 7:29 and 59 seconds. You're late at 7:30, okay? So you got to be in your Block 1 class by 7:30. All right, here's our schedule. All right, super complicated. All right, it was so great until all of a sudden we had to add a middle lunch. And again, for the freshmen, like, middle lunch, great, cool. Seniors, oh my God, middle lunch, what are you talking about? Like, life is very, very different. Okay, so I'm going to break this down one slide at a time. Okay, but this is what the schedule looks like. It's important to know what cohort you're in. Remember, Mondays, everybody is hybrid out. Everybody's learning from home on Monday. If you're in cohort A through K, A through K, you're in the building on Tuesday and Thursday. If you're cohort B, that doesn't mean you're not learning, and that doesn't mean you don't have responsibilities on Tuesday and Thursday. It just means you're doing so from home. Okay, so Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Friday. I'm pulling this apart piece by piece. Okay, Block 1, it looks like an old video game. So what is happening in Block 1? If you are in the building, you're in the building, meaning your cohort is in. Block 1 starts at 7:30, be there by 7:29 and 59 seconds. You're in front of your teacher from 7:30 to 8:55. That's your instructional time for that class. mandated during that class, there will be a 5 to 10 minute mask break. Mask breaks will be taken outside. So at any point during this time, your teacher is going to say, okay, everybody, let's get up. We're going outside for a mask break. Your mask must stay on in the building 100% of the time, with the exception of lunch. You take your mask off when you go out of the building with your mask break. So you have 4 blocks a day. You have a minimum of 4 times that you'll be outside with their mask off. And that's happening during this instructional time. If you're hybrid out, you're still working at 7:30. You're just not in a video conference. You're just not live with the teacher. You go live with the teacher at 8:40. At 8:40, each teacher is still got the group in front of them, but now they have the cohort out in front of them on the video conference, and they're taking teachers taking attendance. They're asking you to submit work. They're asking if you have any questions on the work you've done. So this is your time. You have to be on during this time. We're taking attendance both on your hybrid in and hybrid out day. If you remember anything about last year, we give attendance warnings. Okay, you can lose credit for your attendance. So attendance is important regardless of your hybrid in or hybrid out. Again, it looks nothing like last spring where you could sleep all day, maybe even get a job during the day and then do your schoolwork at night. No, you have to be logged in even if you're out of the building. All right, so that's block 1. Now you can look here, 8:55 it ends. We've got 8 minutes of passing time. Passing time is this elaborate choreographed dance. Okay, there are no bells. We're not going to ring a bell, because you hear a bell, you're going to say, oh, time to go, and get up and go. We're going to grab the PA and we're going to dismiss by class, and it's very detailed. So you got to pay attention, and we will tell you when you can go. So normal passing time is 5 minutes, but that includes going to lockers, going to the bathroom, and all. Passing time right now is get from point A to point B. Bathrooms are going to be closed during passing time. You are not allowed in a bathroom at passing time, okay? You're not using your lockers anyway, so you don't have to stop. You're going from point A to point B, and we will tell you where that is. Block 2, same thing. This is your instruction time. You also will have a mask break, okay? Block 2, here's your check-in time for your hybrid out students. Block 3, this is where it gets really nuts because you're not used to this. So each of these represents a different lunch. This is first lunch, okay? Your teachers will tell you on Wednesday what lunch you have. That's important. It's a big deal on Wednesday to find out what lunch do I have this year. So 10:36, that's your lunch. After lunch, you go to your class. This is your class instructional time. This is the hybrid out check-in time. So that's first lunch, block 3. This is middle lunch, block 3. Good Lord, we've got a middle lunch this year. So you go to class first. There's your time of instruction. Then you go to lunch. Then you go back to the class for more instruction. And this is the hybrid out check-in time. And then this is last lunch. You go to full instruction first, your hybrid out check-in time, and then your lunch period. And then we have block 4 at 2 o'clock. We're not going to ring a bell and say, all right, school's over, have a great day. We, again, have to carefully choreograph everyone getting out of the building safely. And I'll tell you this, I apologize in advance to our student drivers. You're not the first group out of the building. The first group out of the building are the students taking the bus. Then we'll dismiss student drivers. And our last group is parent pickup. We would ask that all parents pick up by 2:15 because we want to clear our campus at least the first week. So important handbook language. We drill this down to you last spring about you can't change your schedule. You can't change your schedule. You can't. Well, you can change your schedule. So this is the old language here. This is the new language. You have add drop period until October 1st. So that's roughly 2 weeks to add or drop classes. Anything, you name it, you can add or drop the class. AP, honors, whatever, add and drop it, whatever you like. As long as we can safely put you into the other class. Why safely? Because each class has a specific number of desks in there, and I can't add more. So if that class is at max capacity, you're out of luck. All right, so we will move schedules provided you fit, not it fits, you fit. And then term 1 is ending November 6th. So after October 1st, the only changes you can make are level changes by November 16th, okay? So the policy is level changes during term 1. What we've added is the add drop period on October 1st. So I want to run quickly through some handbook topics about life that's changed. Then I'll get to the chat. I can't even see the chat right now, so I apologize if I'm backing up in there. So first, I'm going to just run through these topics. Attendance policy. Like I said, we have an attendance policy, hybrid in, hybrid out, and remote. It doesn't matter. You need to be accounted for, okay? Attendance policy. So we issue daily attendance warnings. If you're out 6 times, you get a warning, 12 times, and then 18, you're absent 18 times. Then there's the class attendance, okay? And that's the important piece because you lose credit for your classes. So please, attendance. Backpacks. We spent so much time on a silly backpack policy in the past. We were measuring the backpacks, and it doesn't matter now. Carry the biggest thing you can find because everything needs to be in a backpack because you have no locker access, all right? So you are able to carry whatever you want to carry from class to class, all right? School hours. We can accommodate students arriving at 7 o'clock, and we can accommodate students staying after school until 2:15. That's the school hours right now to make sure we do this safely. Buses, you just can't hop on a bus. I think I mentioned that. You'll be assigned a seat on the bus, and that's just the way it is because we have to safely socially distance on the bus. Electronic devices is a big one. First of all, cell phones. What was the policy? The policies for cell phones was it's going to be locked at the locker. You can access them at the locker. Well, we don't have lockers this year. So what's the policy? We are still of the mindset of away for the day. All right. We just can't put them away in the locker. So they're away on your persons, either in your pocket or in your bag. So we are still maintaining that you have your phones put away, with the following exceptions. Number 1, lunch. You can have your phone at lunch. Number 2, during passing time. Now, passing time not meaning in the hallway, like walking down the hall with your head buried in your phone. Passing time is choreographed. There's 8 minutes, but you're only going to be moving for 2 of those 8 minutes. So there's 6 minutes where you're going to have butt in a seat waiting for class to begin. You can use your phone during that time. So that's 1, 2. The third is during directed studies. You can use your phone during directed studies. Those are the times to use use phones. Lunch, passing time with butt in a seat, and directed studies. That's the phone policy this year. Beyond that, electronic devices. We are asking every student to come to school every day with a charged device. You're all old enough to, before you go to bed, make sure you've charged your device. You can bring your own device, laptop, tablet, or Chromebook, or we are giving out school-issued devices for you to use for the school year. Today was the pickup and drop-off. If you missed that window, contact me. I'll get you a Chromebook for this school year. But it's your job to come to school with the Chromebook charged, okay? So that's the electronics policy, okay? Hallway travel. We just stay to the outside of the halls, okay? We don't drive on the left side of the road. Then we're not going to walk on the left side of the hallway. We're going to walk on the right side of the hallway, safely, socially distanced, okay? Cleanup. This is a big one. At the end of every class, it is expected that each student is going to clean up their workspace. Clean up your workspace. We've got spray bottles and wipes in every class. Clean your workspace up for the next class that comes in. That's not negotiable. You will clean up after yourself. If you arrive in a class and you want to make doubly sure that you're sitting in a sanitized seat, you can start the class by cleaning your desk. So definitely cleaning at the end of each block. And if you want to start a block with a clean desk, I don't blame you. All right, masks. The mask message went out today. It's a mask. It's a two-layer mask. It's not a gaiter, scarf, or bandana. It is what it is. All right, so we've got to be in a mask. We are not going to get into pissing matches with kids about masks. Either you wear it or you don't. If you don't wear the mask, you're going home. And if it becomes a problem, it's easy. Just join the remote learning plan. You never have to come back in the building. So it's just non-negotiable. The only time in the building that you don't have to have a mask on is at lunch or in a mask break, but that's outside. So if I walk by you in the hallway and you don't have a mask on, that's a problem. If I walk past a computer lab and you're sitting there with the mask off and you're saying, oh, no, the teacher said it's a mask break. No, the mask breaks are outside. There can't be any gray on this, folks. Extra help. So we're trying to clear the campus after school. So for extra help, we're going to ask teachers to communicate to you when their extra help will be through either a Google Meet or a video conference or a Zoom. So that's part of Wednesday, teachers communicating to you. If you need extra help, make it an appointment, and here's when I will take the appointments, okay? Because we do want to clear the campus after school. General rules, I won't bore you with those, but it's just acceptable use of Zooms and video conferences. We'll send those out to all of you. You can't take pictures with your device. You can't take screenshots of your Zoom and post them to social media because you're violating everyone's privacy. So we'll review all of those, just general codes of conduct. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go to the chat. Okay. Some of these questions are private, some of them you can see. Do you have to do class work during the class time? It depends on the teacher and when they expect it due. That's what I would say. So teachers are going to clearly articulate their expectations for classwork. Are siblings in the junior high allowed to walk through the high school to the junior high if they were driven by a high schooler? So this has been a frequent question, and I've said yes, like yes. Come in through the preschool loop behind the gym, come in with your sibling. I'm just waiting to hear from the junior high to make sure that's okay with them, because I don't know what they're doing upon arrival. But as far as I'm concerned, you can use our hallway to travel to the junior high. And I understand that's a need because 7:25 drop-off is crazy. Are we able to drink water in class? Awesome question. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, you can drink water and coffee and all your good stuff. Here it is. This is what it looks like. Okay, you're in class, you got a mask on, you've got water. Watch what I'm doing. I'm safely drinking water. Remember, my desk is 6 feet apart from the nearest person. Prolonged exposure is more than 15 minutes at closer than 6 feet. No one is at risk if I do this and drink from water or whatever I have. So very good question. I can't make it to the senior meet and greet tomorrow morning at Silver Shell. Well, neither can I, and I'm not going. It's not a school event. So will both cohorts be having class at the same time, but checking in afterwards? Or will the cohorts have individual class? The cohorts have individual class times, okay? So, but the cohort that's in the building is with the teacher. The cohort that's out of the building doesn't join until the end of the class. During a prior Q&A, you said that colleges will typically mark a course that was pass-fail with a 65 grade if you passed. So will students' GPAs be negatively affected by the spring's pass-fail quarter? It's a good question. So we pass-failed a quarter. That does not appear in your transcript. So you got official letter grades on your transcript, and that's all the colleges look at. They don't get report cards. Do we have to officially sign up for the bus? You would have already had to sign up for the bus. So hopefully you did. If you need if you have a bus issue, email Miss Harvey. Are you still allowed to go in late if you have a study first block? Yes, I believe so. Good question, Alex. I believe so. I'm going to have to confirm that. Are we allowed to eat outside in the courtyard? Yes. In fact, I would love it if all the seniors ate outside. That would be awesome. Eat outside, spread out. The courtyard's huge. Spread out. Do your thing. How is the library running this year? So very similar. It's open. You can go to the library from your directed studies. Okay. Are we allowed to eat in our cars for lunch? Not yet. So right now it's courtyard or cafeteria. Can you leave late if you have a study last? So I'm looking at the leave late, arrive, that senior privilege I'm still looking at. So I'm going to tentatively say yes, but sit with me. Give me a minute on that one. It's a really good question. If you have a study online, you have to go to it. So let's say you're hybrid out and it's your time for your directed study. No, you don't have to check in on your hybrid out days and your directed study. Very good question, Novalai. Do we have assigned seats at lunch? No, we don't have assigned seats at lunch. We're going to ask people to move in and grab seats. This is brutal. We will tell you when it's time, okay, safe to take your mask off. So you can't sit down, take your mask off and start eating, because then you're going to have kids walking by. We got to wait till everybody's seated. It's so bad, but it's safe. Will we be required to bring lunches, or will be lunches provided like the governor said? You can bring lunch if you want. If you don't and you want to pick up a lunch at school, you can get a lunch from school. They are boxed lunches. So life is not the same, folks. I don't want you to think about our cafeteria the way it was. You're going to walk in and you've got the deli bar over there. You've got your entrees there, a salad bar over there. It just doesn't exist. So you're going to walk into the caf and you'll go grab a boxed lunch and bring it to your desk. So it's sad. I don't like it. But our siblings go to junior high school. I think I answered that. Do we have mask breaks during class inside the classroom? No, never. No mask breaks in a classroom. Ever, ever, ever. Your mask is on, period. Mask breaks are outside. In inclement weather, I still want them outside. Are parking spots separated, or are people still parked next to each other? So yeah, you're going to park. We're going to assign your parking space. You can park in every spot. We don't have to socially distance the parking lot. Park your car, get out, walk in the building. I know special events are not near, but are they possibly happening at homecoming and prom? No adults like myself got into education for just the classroom experience. It's about the full high school experience for all of you. I get that. We will do everything in our power to pull off a memorable senior year. I think back to last year's seniors and all that they had pulled out from under them. But then I think back to they had some pretty cool stuff as well that we did instead of. So we couldn't do the senior walk, so we did a senior parade. We will do everything we can to give you a memorable senior year. Do full remote kids have class every day, or is it every other day like hybrid kids? So full remote students are following our schedule with Tuesday and Wednesday is day 1, Thursday and Friday is day 2. Okay, so the full remote students is the same. What determines what lunch we have? Your teacher will tell you. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Your teacher will tell you what lunch you have. Will we get assigned parking spaces? Yes, but not until after October 1st. Is there a system to go inside the building? Do we have to wait outside to be allowed in? Good question. No, you can walk in, you can come into the building. If it's before 7:20, head to the CAF. If it's after 7:20, head to block 1. Could you maybe please walk us through the passing time process with the green classrooms and such? Sure. So at the end of every block, Principal Duvall will grab the PA system and will say, at this time, all students moving to a block 2 class that is green may go so now. And you're probably sitting and say, what the heck does that mean? I will then list all of the green classrooms. Why? What is a green classroom? A green classroom means it's an empty room that nobody was in, so they can safely bring you in. So you will go into your green class. I will announce green. So I will say, all of these teachers are green. So if you have that teacher, go to that class. After that, that's 2 minutes. After that, hello, it's Principal Duvall again. Everyone in a first floor class, please move to the gym. And you'll go to, in the English hallway, the art hallway, and the music hallway, go to the gym. So that clears that out. Everyone in the math hallway, please go to the CAF. That clears that out. 2 minutes later, I will say, all right, we'll now backfill the first floor. Anybody that has a first floor class will go there. And then 2 minutes later, anybody with a second block class. It's a lot, Bess. It's a lot. And we will get the hang of it as we go. Is there a limit to the people in the bathroom during class? Great question. Yes. Bathrooms are going to be closed for the last 10 minutes of every class through passing time and into the first 10 minutes of the next class. Why? So that we can sanitize the bathrooms 4 times during the day. So once we do open bathrooms, students will use a software called eHallway Pass. That eHallway Pass will block you can't go to a bathroom if there's 2 people there. So what I'm saying is there's a maximum of 2 people in a bathroom at a time. The software will keep track of who's in the bathroom and not. Think of it as like the waiting room when you go to urgent care. You will be put in a queue if the bathroom is full. So you need to go to the bathroom, you're in the middle of a class, you log into the software, you request a bathroom. If it's open, you get up and go. If it's not open, you wait. If you don't want to wait, find another bathroom, okay? Will the water bottle fountains still be available? No, they're not. And I don't understand why right now, but they're not. So bring a lot of water. That's what filling those massive backpacks, fill lots of liquids. Other questions? These are great. Can we still stay after school? No. We want to clear the campus by 2:15, at least for the first week. After the first week, we'll reassess. Can we have meetings with our guidance counselors? Yes, I would hope that you would. A priority for me, especially for you seniors, is this world situation, this COVID school year should not negatively impact whatever you want to do after high school. So meetings with guidance counselors, yes. Meetings during studies, yes. Guidance counselors are already planning to meet with you individually and in small groups. So yes, yes, yes. Will we be having 2 separate locations for the nurse? Yes. We have the nurse's office, and then we have a COVID symptom room for students exhibiting COVID symptoms. Yes. Good question, Emma. When are full remote students getting their GradPoint login information? Likely tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. Will the preschool still be working and allowing student volunteers? Awesome question. I think yes, but I'm not sure. It's a really good question. I will look into. Are phones during studies school-wide or just senior? School-wide. Sorry, no senior privilege there. School-wide. These are great questions, everybody. Remote Kids Monday is all blocks for half each? Yes. What will be the protocol if a teacher exhibits COVID symptoms? Well, if a teacher exhibits COVID symptoms, they don't come to school. If they exhibit the symptoms while in school, they go to the isolation room and then they go home. And we get a substitute teacher. Like, will school supplies be available to us, like rulers and calculators? Yes, we wipe down any shared equipment will be wiped down. Where is the isolation room? The isolation room is on the stage in the auditorium, because it has an outside exit and it has a bathroom. And we can isolate there. Other questions? How is band running this year? Safely and creatively, and at Mr. Barnacle's discretion. Oh, within the safety guidelines. Is there a designated day for homework to be due in terms of in and out days? No. So as I said earlier, for this to work, it has to look like school. Okay, with like school starts at 7:30, it ends at 2 o'clock, and there's homework. So you will have homework. All right, and it'll be like normal homework. The big thing is going to be normally you have homework, but you don't have that class the next day because of every other day schedule. Well, that's gone. Remember, the every other day is different. So if you have class on Tuesday, you also have class on Wednesday. So maybe it's due the next day. So it's really important to get clear directions from your teachers as to when things are due. Where in the auditorium will student band instruments be stored? I don't know. Not in the auditorium. That's the isolation room. Are there days 1 and 2 for remote students or just day 1? There are days 1 and day 2 for remote students. Good question. Are clubs running? Again, I want the full school experience for you as a class. And so I've asked my club advisors to think of ways to safely conduct their extracurricular activities. So I hope that clubs are running. This is quite off topic, but when is the first staff meeting? I don't know. I will let you know. Are we able to use the track, white, red room, or the fields after school or outside of school? Not without supervision, and definitely not the first week of school. So after school, we need to clear the campus after school. It is, and again, I'm not happy with that. I don't like this situation, but we first and foremost have to make sure we have safely returned to school, and then we can start looking at extracurriculars. There's no delayed starts this year, correct? That is correct. I'm sorry. The worst senior year ever. No delayed starts. Can we leave early if we have a study last? I think so. I will clarify. I will clarify. Do you think some of the rules guidelines will change in the upcoming weeks? Yeah, they change all the time. So we've created a schedule and a plan that can change on a dime that we can pivot from. So yeah, I do believe that things are constantly changing. Good question. What will be available for college prep this year? So we have our virtual college admissions officers coming. I would think nothing is going to change. It's just the matter of how we deliver those things will be different. So you'll still be able to meet with their guidance counselors. You'll still be able to meet with college reps. Will soccer be happening? Yes, soccer will be happening. It's just a matter of when soccer will be happening. Will rooms like Mr. Alessi be open during the school day? Perhaps, perhaps. You'd have to speak to Mr. Alessi. What happens if we miss school on a day we are supposed to be in the building? I would think like if you miss a school day, if like you're absent, what happens if you are absent on a day we are supposed to be in the building? Here's what I'd do. I'd email the teacher and say I'm out sick today. Second thing I do is I would ask myself, am I healthy enough to go to perhaps the hybrid out check-in just so I stay current? But if you're absent, you're absent, and we have makeup work, and you'll just do the makeup work. That's what we do. And if I totally missed the mark on that question, you can ask it again. I apologize. What is the procedure for leaving early? Maybe this question is about a dismissal. So you can be dismissed from school. In the past, you'd go to the office when you got to school, and you'd give the receptionist a dismissal note. Instead of that, we're just gonna have a basket where you would drop the dismissal note in the basket, and then it goes as it does. Whenever you're dismissed, you're dismissed. Who is the new nurse? Our new nurse is Nurse Sadik. Um, she's fantastic. What is the protocol if a student tests positive? So a student tests positive, we would um, inform any student that came into close contact with the positive person, while also maintaining their confidentiality. We can't say who tested positive, but we would let someone know that someone they were in close proximity with, um, that they were near someone. To confirm, is the senior sunrise not a school event? Well, school hasn't started yet. If you're talking about an event that's maybe tomorrow, I don't know. I don't care. Um, School starts on Wednesday. How about that for an answer? It would be like if you guys held a junior semi this summer. It wasn't a school event. I don't know. I don't know. Other questions? Is there a testing area for COVID in the school? No, we are not performing COVID tests in school. What do we do on snow days? I think I would stand firm. Well, here's the trick: seniors love snow days because you don't have to make them up. But underclassmen and teachers and principals hate snow days because you got to be here late into June. We don't like that. So if I was advocating for this current school year, I would say there's no reason to have a snow day because every teacher can post the work on their learning management system, and we can have a day of school. But no decisions have been made. Any other questions? What happens during a power outage and we're unable to use devices remotely? Really good question. And my teachers are prepared for that. We don't know what we don't know. So as soon as you're able to communicate to your teachers, you should do so. So if you've got no power, and you've got no way to contact your teachers, that's okay. Contact them as soon as possible, and we will make the necessary. I mean, we would be crazy to hold that against you. So we will be extremely reasonable and flexible, but we don't know what we don't know. So you just have to communicate as soon as possible. When do we get out of school? So the last day for seniors hasn't been determined yet. It's a good question. Other questions? But to answer, Lindsay, you will be out before the underclassmen. Graduation is set for the first Saturday in June, and you'll be out before then. Other questions for the good of the group? Last call. Okay, thank you, everybody. While it's not, you're not returning to the school that you remember, I am thrilled that we are providing an opportunity to return, okay? I think often of the group that just graduated, leaving school on March 13th, never to return. We're returning. And so I'm eager for you to have an awesome senior year. We are excited. I can't wait to see you all again. It's been lonely here since March 13th. So we will see you on Thursday. Some of you, we will see the cohort A on Thursday. We will see cohort B on Friday. We'll see all of you online on Wednesday. Okay. Reach out if you have any questions. I will send this out as a recording later tonight. So thank you, everybody, and have a good night.